HarperCollins presents A Mother's Hope for the Cornish Girls by Betty Walker, read by Annette Holland. Chapter 1. Simmons Hall, St Ives, Cornwall, January 1943. Sonya stared at her old friend, her heart thudding erratically, sure the whole world was about to crumble to dust beneath her feet. Summoned by the bell, she had come toiling up the steep stairs to Lady Simmons' top-floor rooms in the stately but ramshackle apartments next door to the orphanage, the windows overlooking green fields and the wild blue expanse of Carbis Bay, St Ives. She had half expected to be sent on some errand of mercy for one of the orphans, or maybe asked for her help with an embroidery project, since needlework was her forte. Instead, she had been told, after nearly 25 years as Bab's live-in companion, that she was surplus to requirements. "Donald has asked me to marry him, and I've accepted," Lady Simmons had told her, clearly bursting with excitement. "He wants us to live together in Scotland, which isn't exactly how I'd planned to see out my twilight years, but I've agreed to give it a try." Sonya had not known what to say. "He has a fine old castle on the shores of a loch," Babs had continued merrily. "Well, you know, I showed you the photographs. Oh, I can't wait to see it again. It must be years since I was there with my dear Christopher. How much fun we all had together." She was referring to her late husband, who had passed away many years before, but whose large, silver-framed photograph still took pride of place on the mantelpiece. Sonya put her hand to her mouth, struggling not to let her distress show. Truly, she was happy for her long-term friend and employer. But what would all this mean for her? Everything was about to change, and she didn't have a clue what lay ahead or how to order her bewildered thoughts. She groped for the correct response, for words of congratulations, but all that came into her head sounded idiotic and empty. Meanwhile, Lady Barbara Simmons was waiting for a response, staring at her with bright, twinkling eyes that seemed at least 50 years younger than her wrinkled skin and long silver tresses of hair. "Well?" she asked, a touch impatiently. "What do you think, Sonya? Aren't you going to wish me happy?" "Congratulations. I hope you'll be very happy indeed," Sonya blurted out, her voice unsteady, wishing she could be alone so she could sob her heart out. Babs looked into her eyes and then dropped the old lace gown she'd been examining for rips. She hurried forward, pressing Sonia's hands between her own cooler fingers. "Oh, my dear, please don't look so scared. I wouldn't be so cruel as to drag you all the way to Scotland, not with your unfortunate tendency to catch cold in the winter months. Besides, you'd be very much in the way if you came with us." She gave the infectious laugh that always turned heads. "I shall miss you terribly, but a honeymoon would be a bit crowded with 3 people. Of course," Sonya stammered, shaking her head. I didn't mean—" "I hope you'll stay here and hold the fort for me, if you'd like to, that is." Babs shot her a sympathetic look. "I'll need someone to keep an eye on the orphanage and the convalescent home, and I shall expect regular reports so I'm not behind on any of the gossip." She paused, and Sonya knew Babs was tacitly saying she wasn't to be cast out into the streets now that marriage had rendered her position as companion redundant. "His castle is very grand, you know. It's near Loch Ness," her ladyship added, changing the subject. "And Queen Victoria stayed there once in his grand—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?